Hello. Okay, so this is going to be super, super quick. I thought I was going to have a little bit more time, but I've got some people coming over and they're actually on time. So, yay, good job, girls. Okay, I want to talk about Danae Jackson very, very quickly. I know what I'm going to say is going to sound harsh to some people, but I think it's important that we're honest about what we're observing. The truth is that woman did an interview, and in the conversation, she acknowledged that she was always aware that she wasn't the only one that he was sleeping with. He was bringing other women in and out of their house. She would be in the house knowing that he was sleeping with those women. He would record himself having sex with those women, and she would watch the videos. And then when Tasha K exposed to the world that, hey, this guy that's giving you relationship advice is sleeping with any and everything that moves, she did a video with him defending him, saying that everyone was lying on him, saying that they were being slandered. She used a Bible verse basically to try to curse people, which people don't know. First of all, most of the time, unless you really know what you're doing, curses don't work. But if you're going to try to curse someone, you don't ever need to do it in you don't need to be in front of something that's showing your reflection, because then you're speaking it onto yourself. But she does all of this. And then in the interview, when the guy, who was a horrible interviewer, but when the guy asked her about that, she defended that decision and she said, well, Derek Jackson's name was being slandered. And I'm like, well, no, you just admitted that he was fucking 11 other women that you knew of, that he was fucking other women in the house that you shared with him. And that was your marital home. You would watch videos of him with those women. Nobody was lying on that man. Let me tell you something. The only reason she's upset is because she lost her position. Okay? She had no problem being a part of his harem as long as she was the wife. And she's hurt because she accepted behaviors that she would not have tolerated had she known that at some point he would remove her from that position. And the only reason I'm pointing this out is because a lot of times as Black women, we are used by other Black women to trauma bond. And I'm like, well, no, this isn't a woman that was like a dutiful, faithful, devoted wife who thought that she was in a monogamous marriage. And then she found some text messages or some emails or some DMs or, some pictures. This isn't a woman that stumbled upon information that showed her that her entire life was a lie. This is a woman who knew that she was dealing with a man who was not monogamous. And she needs to be really careful having those conversations on camera. And that's why that dude that interviewed her doesn't fuck with her at all. Because if he did, he would have edited that part out. During that conversation, she said that in her divorce filing, she basically filed a fault-based divorce and claimed that he committed adultery. But in that same interview, she admitted that she knew about 11 other women, that she saw the women coming in and out of the house. She knew about the women coming in and out of the condo. She would be in the house as he was having sex with those women. She was aware of the videos of him with those women because he was showing them to her. And the only reason he did a video with her back in the day when she did the Helmet of Salvation thing, he did that because he used her to clear his image. And see, this is the problem that I have with Black women who are against interracial dating. Like, you can't just be against it and do what you want to do in your life. You have to fuck up the environment, not only for other Black women, but for yourself. See, these men want you to publicly They want you to publicly support them and defend them. They want you to publicly attack other Black women so that when you come out and acknowledge that you've been abused, that you've been cheated on, that you've been lied to, guess what? That very environment that you helped create will be there to essentially look the other way. But if that guy who, I guarantee you, now a Black woman may have asked her different questions, but I can guarantee you that the Black women who are the heavy hitters on this platform, if they had interviewed her, I'm pretty sure that they would have either edited that part out or there are certain questions that they would not have asked her. Because the other thing that no one's paying attention to is the fact that the motherfucker that she was married to is a public figure. You notice he hasn't sent her a cease and desist. He's not asking her to stop talking. He's sitting back and letting her say all of this shit on camera. Now that she has publicly admitted on video that she was aware of what he was doing to the point of watching videos with him, you know, there are some couples, I mean, it's weird to me, but there are some couples that are into that. I don't quite know what they call it, but they like watching their spouse or their boyfriend or girlfriend have sex with someone else. Now, if you participate in a relationship like that, okay. But if it ends, you can't then turn around and say the person cheated on you. And if you're going to do it, don't admit to knowing about the shit publicly. She pretty much erased any claim that she has for a fault-based divorce. You can't call it adultery, baby girl, when you knew about it. You are a willing fucking participant. You got 3 kids with that man. And the more and more you get on video and you say all of this shit, you put yourself in a position to leave your kids motherless. If he strips you of custody. See, you sat on here and told Black women that you wanted their kids to be fatherless, for those of you who have kids. She wished fatherlessness on your kids. Guess what, bitch? If you keep doing all this talking and it may be too late, your kids will be motherless because he will have custody of them. Y'all got to be careful what y'all get on camera and say. No one has to do any digging to verify if it's you. If you're on camera admitting that a man, see, now he can say that you submitted a false filing. You submitted a fault-based divorce request based on adultery, but you're on video saying that you knew about it, you participated in it. It sounded like some threesome shit was going on, but that's not my business and I don't really care to know. This is why I keep telling y'all got to think with precision. Stop being mad and doing shit and then undoing yourself and then wanting other Black women to come to your defense. Because I felt sorry for the girl until I saw her in an interview saying that she knew about the shit. Now, I do think she has a self-esteem problem, but she does not need to be on nobody's couch doing an interview. She needs intense therapy to figure out why her self-esteem is so low that she accepted that. Otherwise, see, this is the other thing she's doing. This is why I be telling my friends all the time, like, when you date, stay away from guys that want to know all of the gory details of your past relationships, because a lot of times men who do that just want to know what you accepted in the past because it lets them know what you'll probably tolerate from them. That girl just sat up there and told the world that she had no problem with the fact this man was sleeping with at least 11 other women while she was pregnant. So she didn't give a fuck about her baby. Because at the end of the day, fuck her. But you're pregnant. This motherfucker probably is not using any type of protection. You know how many babies are being born with like syphilis and herpes and all this other shit because of you reckless ass bitches tolerating bullshit? So you come out here and tell your story. What am I supposed to do about some shit that you accepted? And you gave that story to a man who had no sympathy for you because he laughed at you the whole time, laughed at you in your face. Because I'm going to go back to it. If the nigga cared about her, he would have edited a lot of that shit out. You know, the larger content creators do that all the time when they have interviews. Is certain shit that they edit out, excuse me. They also do that, I think, with stations like The Breakfast Club and all that stuff. A lot of times people who actually fuck with you a little bit are not going to let you air out some shit that's going to do you in. Right. Mimosa. Oh my goodness. See, that's another statement that could cause her to lose custody of her child. Because let me tell you something. If I was that little baby girl's auntie, grandma, whatever, I would not feel comfortable with her raising that daughter. How do you resent your own baby? Like, that child literally lived in your body and was a part of you. But you look at a little girl. Because let's talk about the way some of these hoes sexualize little black girls. Dark skin, light skin, whatever. But that's a conversation, though. And I say this as a brown skinned woman myself. That's a conversation about the fact that some, not all, but some brown skin and dark skin Black women project their insecurities about their complexion onto little black girls that are lighter than them. Because if Derek Jackson has a lawyer, best believe, and she was on camera with her face showing saying that shit, so she can't deny it. A lawyer would eat her up with that. You sexualize a little girl? You're looking at grown women that you know that your husband is sleeping with. And you look at not just any little black girl, although it would be disgusting if she did it with any little black girl, but you look at your little black daughter. And because she happens to be lighter skinned, you're comparing your baby girl to adult women. You're looking at her and sexualizing her. That's disgusting. I'm telling you. And that's why he's just sitting back and letting her talk. Now, I could be wrong, but I think that at the end of all of this, she's not going to have custody of them kids. Because first of all, you can't acknowledge that you knew what he was doing and then call it adultery and then publicly say all of this stuff. And then you're throwing the kids into it. They call that parental alienation. Because you're alienating your kids, I guess, from their dad based on how you're presenting him. But this is troubling and I'm gonna tell you why this sticks out to me, because one of my cousins has a daughter with this girl that's from Georgia. And we had to go get her from Georgia when she was about 13 or 14 because the little girl's mama was looking the other way when her raggedy ass boyfriend was molesting that girl. And baby girl has so many emotional issues because of that. Because obviously sexual assault is extremely traumatizing. And then B, the person that you're supposed to trust more than anybody else in the world, your mama, the bitch that pushed you out of her pussy, knew it happened, looked the other way. And when she was given the option to, okay, get the man out of your house, are we coming to get baby girl? She decided to keep the man in the house. This type of shit happens all the time. Why baby girl is just as adorable as she could be. Beautiful little chocolate drop, little Coke bottle shape, just adorable baby girl. Now she's 19, so she thinks she's grown or whatever. But she's just adorable, sweetheart, very intelligent. But she looked at her own daughter as competition instead of looking at that nigga and putting a bullet in his fucking head for assaulting that baby girl. And he got her pregnant. But she opted not to keep the child, obviously. Who the fuck wants to keep their abuser's child? So that's a dangerous situation for this baby to be in. So she's looking at the fact that she accepted the fact that her husband is polyamorous. She accepted it because she thought she could keep him that way, and she was cool with it as long as she felt like she was the number one bitch. As long as she was the wife, she was cool with it. When he left her, instead of saying, okay, you know what? I don't need you anyway. Fuck you. I can take care of myself. I can take care of the kids. You're going to run me some money based on applicable state laws, but you can go on and do what you want to do. She looked at her own daughter and resented her. Why the fuck are you comparing your daughter to adult women that you agreed to allow your husband to sleep with? Damn. Watch, at the end of all of this, she ain't gonna have them kids. And now that you bring this up, Mimosa, I don't think she should have them, especially the little girl. Because that shit like that fucks little girls up emotionally and mentally. And it puts them in a situation where, because this is something we're dealing with my little baby cousin. She grown, but 19 isn't like really grown. Legally, yes, but she's still a baby. When you go through that type of emotional trauma, and then of course the sexual abuse, and then being betrayed by your own mother, it puts you in a situation where your ability to determine who cares about you and who doesn't is completely skewed. Damn. That's fucked up, y'all. Anyway, happy Memorial Day weekend. We'll talk soon. Bye.